to stop fentanyl trafficking, even though less than 1% of the fentanyl we seize at the border comes from Canada. Less than 1%. Now, for the first time, we have a federal court saying that we all kind of sort of knew to be true already. The president's justification for this trade war is BS. And that is not all. The court tonight also ordered that all of the tariffs Trump has collected so far be vacated. Just how that will work, especially from a White House that doesn't exactly abide by every court order, and what that will all mean, I do not know. This is just breaking this news in the last couple of hours, but I have the right person to ask. Starting us off tonight is Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes, who co-led this lawsuit against Donald Trump's tariffs. Attorney General Mayes, thank you for joining us on such short notice. This all just happened in the last couple of hours, as you well know. Let me just start, because I think we're all trying to digest this, and people at home are wondering what this exactly means. It's our understanding that this ruling applies to all tariffs except for the ones imposed on steel and aluminum. First, is that right? And can you just give us the scope of the impact of this ruling tonight?
Sure. Thanks, Janet. Thanks for having me. It's a huge day for American consumers, for small businesses all throughout this country who were on the precipice of being absolutely devastated and harmed by these tariffs. And so we are celebrating this. We, like you, are still digesting it. But essentially, you're right. I mean, the Court of International Trade, in a very thoughtful decision, said that essentially all of the tariffs that Donald Trump engaged in under IEEPA, basically the April tariffs, are unlawful, and so they are enjoined. They are essentially enjoined as of tonight, as you and I are speaking. It looks like the Trump administration has made it clear they're going to try to appeal this decision, and they'll probably seek a stay. But for now, this is good news for the people of America.
No question about it. I mean, there's been understandable panic, concern about costs in so many areas of goods that people rely on. I want to get to the legal next steps in a moment, but I just want to ask, I mean, the three-judge panel also ordered that any tariff payments already collected be vacated, which sounds like it means be paid back. Is that what it means, and how exactly would that work?
Yeah, I think we're still sorting through that, so I don't want to be too declarative about that. But yes, essentially, it vacates the tariffs and it enjoins them from going forward. So that's why we're expecting Trump to try to appeal this decision. It'll probably end up at the United States Supreme Court at some point in the very near future.
So just in the last minutes, right before we came on air, the Trump administration did file a notice of appeal, which I'm sure doesn't surprise you, as you were just saying. Yep. It also it's always seemed weird that Donald Trump just had the unilateral power to wake up and decide to put tariffs in every country in the world for whatever reason he decided. I mean, as a layperson. But even with this appeal being filed and with some of their aggressive responses, he's also somebody who doesn't really have a history of complying always with court rulings. So what happens if he doesn't? I know we're just digesting this, but have you thought about that with the others who filed this lawsuit?
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. And, as you know, the Democratic AGs have sued Donald Trump now, I think, more than 20 times. On a couple of occasions, you're right, he has violated federal court orders. And what we have done is we have gone back into the federal court when that happens, and we have asked for what's called a motion to compel. So I suppose if they try to continue to collect these tariffs and they try to continue the tariff schemes, despite the Court of International Trade's opinion, we would have to go back in for a motion to compel. Let's hope that's not necessary, and let's see what happens next.
We will see. We'll have to keep talking about it with you and your other Democratic AGs. In a statement, they've had a pretty aggressive response to this, is one way to define it. But I think it's so important to untangle all of this, and you're the perfect expert to do that with. In a statement after the ruling, the White House said America's trade deficits constitute a national emergency, and that's up to the president to decide, not judges. I mean, essentially, the court seemed to say the opposite. But what do you say to that?
No, that's right. And so there's a couple things here. Number one, fundamentally, the power to levy tariffs rests with Congress, right? And as you know, nowhere in IEPA does it even mention the word tariffs. Now, the court in its decision didn't say that the president, whoever the president is, never can levy tariffs under IEPA. But what the court is saying is the president does not have unbounded authority to levy these tariffs. And that's what this was. I mean, he just sort of woke up one day and decided that he was going to levy tariffs on Canada and China and Mexico and the worldwide tariffs, and declared that this was all based on fentanyl. Well, okay. But then came up with different reasons for it, as you just pointed out. So what are the reasons for it? And if you're going to put tariffs on tomatoes, what does that have to do with fentanyl?
It's a good question, tomatoes and fentanyl. The other way they seem to have responded, Trump advisor Stephen Miller tweeted, "The judicial coup is out of control," which seems to be kind of a predictable knee-jerk reaction to any time a court rules against them. Now, this panel, as I started off the show saying, was unanimous. One of the appointees on the panel was a Trump appointee. But what do you say to that sort of response from the White House?
You know, it's so disappointing, Jen, and it just points to a trend that we are seeing of this administration going after judges, undermining the authority of the judicial branch of government, not respecting the two other branches of government. I mean, again, that's what this case is about. This case is about the president's power vis-a-vis Congress, and now he's disrespecting judges. And he basically makes these sort of very disrespectful and alarming statements every time he loses a case. And that's just not how things are done in our country.
We've already discussed some of this. They've already filed their notice of appeal. You said it could go to the Supreme Court. What's next? I mean, what should we be watching for?